Christmas is just a couple of weeks away. Are you prepared?
La 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 la, jolly keyboard noises, holiday keyboard noises.
Did that sound ominous? If it does, it's probably because Christmas shopping is an awful time for you, especially if you have to get a gift for someone you don't know that well. What are you supposed to get for somebody to show that you care about them? Or in the event of like a dirty Santa, white elephant thing, a gift that's nice, but also generic enough that it can be appreciated by multiple people. And preferably ones that are easy to pull off because you're running out of time. You're not in awful company though, because the Friday and Saturday before Christmas are the busiest shopping days of the year. And no, that is not your fun holiday fact for the video. But that means you're going to be in a store, elbow to elbow with a bunch of other people, and that is super stressful. So it's easier for you to know what you want to get before you get there. Now, if the person you're shopping for is neither a reader nor a writer, I don't know how much help I'm going to be for you, but some of my suggestions are fairly generic, so maybe they'll spark some ideas for you. I am of the mind that a gift should be practical, not necessarily flashy, which, depending on who you ask, either makes me an awesome gift giver or an incredibly boring gift giver, but never a bad gift giver. Most years, I will get my shopping done way early. So early, in fact, that I often forget what I got people. So when they open the gifts, it's kind of like a surprise for both of us. This year did get away from me a bit. The last few months have been a little bit hectic, and I am stressing out a little more than I would like to about getting my shopping done on time. But I do have some suggestions for you that will at least hopefully make your shopping a little smoother. None of these suggestions are sponsored, by the way. I don't have that kind of a following, and I don't have the time or the patience to figure out how to make one of those affiliated listings. So if you're interested in any of these things, type in the search words and you'll be able to find the things. I can't do all the work for you. Basically, these are all things that either I have and enjoy, or things that I would gift if I was giving a gift to a reader or a writer. And for those of you receiving a gift from me this year, none of these are things that I have gotten you guys, so you're just going to have to wait until Christmas to figure out what I got you. Firstly, we have writing accessories. Notebooks, journals, pens, highlighters, stationery, bookmarks. You can never have too much stationery, but try to get stuff in colorways that your recipient enjoys. You don't want to get somebody that's like super obsessed with bright colors and florals, something that's just skulls and spiders, you know? If you're unsure about what designs they might like, just stick with solid colors. Ask them what their favorite color is and try to get all the things in that color if you can. Ink, however, should probably just stick to blue to black just to be safe. Green if you're feeling a little bit adventurous, but anything other than that does become a bit hard to read. And while I enjoy my neon orange ink, I understand it's not for everyone. Unless you have seen your writer friend writing in crazy colors, stick to the basics. Number 2, a library embosser or a stamp if you've got time to customize one, and a stamp making kit if you don't. If your reader is a frequent library patron, this isn't going to be the best gift for them because they're not going to be keeping the books. Or if they are somebody that reads and then donates, or reads and then gives them to other people, also probably not the best gift. But if this is somebody that likes to keep books for their own personal collection, and you know they're not going to be getting rid of these books anytime soon, a personalized embosser that says from the library of, whatever their name is, it could be a really cool way to personalize their library. I do know a lot of creative types also enjoy picking up hobbies here and there as well. So you could opt for getting a DIY stamp making kit from your local craft store. I want to say they're about like $20 or so, and they can carve their own personalized stamp. If you don't have the time to get a stamp made in 2 weeks, which you probably don't, you could potentially go that way if you have an idea that your recipient would enjoy trying to make their own stamp. Number 3, gift cards to bookstores and coffee shops. Some people might think that a gift card is a bit of an impersonal gift, and I can see where the argument could be made for that, because if everybody else is opening up a bunch of presents and everything's wrapped, it might be a bit of a letdown to just get a Christmas card that has a little plastic rectangle inside of it. I'd happily accept it because that's less packaging that I have to throw away and break down for the trash man. But if you think it does need a little bit of bulking up, you can get a mug and fill it with your gift card, some lint truffles or some candy that they like, some sample sizes of coffee or tea, wrap it up in some cellophane and put a cute little bow on it. I don't care what anyone says. That is a good white elephant gift. Number 4, make your own treat kits. They are easy to make, they are relatively inexpensive, and then the recipient gets a cute little mason jar that they can use to decorate other stuff, or they can use it like storage. I come from a country crock is basically Tupperware family, so I like to reuse my stuff whenever I can. Cupcake mixes, dry ranch, soups, cookie in a jar. Basically what you do is you get your mason jar and you put all of the dry ingredients for your treat inside of it. You make up a cute little recipe card for it, either handwritten or you can make it on a Cricut, or you can go on Canva and you can make a cute little recipe for it, however you want to do it. Wrap it up in a nice little bow, and they have this cute, pretty, layered thing. Not only does that save you the stress of having to make brownies and hope that they get eaten before they go bad, but you also aren't stressing out the recipient who now has a thing of brownies that they don't know what to do with and they don't really want right now, so they can make it themselves. And all they have to do is add the wet ingredients to it. Google mason jar gift ideas and thank me later. It works best if you know whether or not people have food allergies, but if they don't, the sky's really the limit. 5, fun art. If you're dealing with a writer, you can commission artwork of their original characters. And if they are a writer or a reader, you can commission artwork of their pets. My husband commissioned this one of our majestic and distinguished gentleman Friday, aka the Fat Man, back when he was our only cat. If we can ever get the other 3 to sit still long enough for a good photo, we'll be getting them done too. Seriously though, like, how freaking cute is that? Yes, it's a little bit longer on the turnaround than some of the other gifts I have listed here, but if you can find somebody to do it quickly, or if you have good Photoshop skills, or you are artsy yourself, it's doable. Now, if you're commissioning fan art for your writer friend, it almost certainly will not be here in time for Christmas because artists need time to create their art. But I think it would be awesome to open up a card that says you have secured the services of an artist to bring their characters to life. It shows that you support their journey. It shows that you believe in them enough that you think that their characters deserve to be brought to life in art form. And what's not to love about being supported? Your mileage may vary based on how far your writer friend is in their story and how long they've been workshopping these characters and, what they feel about having their animals immortalized in whatever form you choose. But honestly, if your friend doesn't think that a canvas print of their 6-pound chihuahua in full medieval armor is like peak hilarity and awesomeness, are they really worth being friends with? Suggestion number 6, and this one's a bit of a weird one, but a dehumidifier. A wet book is a sad book, and a dehumidifier will keep those beautiful collections from getting damp. It may not be the best for smaller spaces, but if they live somewhere that's like an older building, or if maybe the window seals aren't greatest in the room where they keep their books, a small dehumidifier could be a really good gift for them. I've got one in my basement right now because that is where all of my books got moved after the storm. And I feel a lot more comfortable knowing that there is a machine down there trying to keep my precious book babies safe. Gift idea number 7, a beginner bookbinding kit. Bookbinding is huge on the internet right now. Or maybe my algorithm is more niche than I thought. But either way, I got a bookbinding kit a few years ago off Etsy. And even though I was not great at it, I had a lot of fun making my own little notebook. I mean, look at this thing. It's got glue marks from where I messed up, and I got glue on the backer, and like it crackles when I open it, and I didn't like secure it as tightly as I probably should. But this thing is super cute, and I'm so proud of it, and I'm like, I love this thing. I made it, and I'm so proud of it. If I ever work up the courage to write in this little guy, I'll be able to proudly say that I did all of this myself. Come to think of it, maybe I should look into making my own paper. Those videos look really cool. No, no, no. I'd be too powerful if I could make my own books from scratch. Still. No, I can't give myself any more ideas. Moving on. Number 8, a USB mug charger for if they like having warm little treats during their reading and writing sessions. In the debate between coffee versus tea, I come down on the side of tea because while I can drink tea hot, room temperature, or cold, I can only drink coffee hot. And if I am lucky enough to have a writing session that I believe will be long enough to warrant getting a drink, I'm not going to choose coffee because I need a drink with longevity. Put a mug in a warmer though, and now coffee's back on the table. Seriously, how nice is it to sit down with a nice mug of hot cocoa and sitting down to have a nice reading session and knowing that in an hour your hot chocolate is going to be just as warm as it was when you first sat down. Like, that sounds awesome. A little bougie, I'll give you that, but it's a Christmas gift. It's allowed to be a little ridiculous. Number 9, one of those keyboard pads that has like a wrist rest on them. Carpal tunnel is no joke, and if your writer friend frequently has multi-hour long writing sessions, they're going to want to keep those wrists nimble. And pair it with like a guide for doing wrist exercises. Can you tell I'm the kind of person that shows that they love you by asking if you've had enough to eat? How's your wrists? Are your wrists good? Let me take care of that for you. Here's a treat. Number 10. If you're just drawing a blank and none of these ideas sound like fun, writing inspiration dice. I mean, it looks like fun. Gamifying your writing sessions. I don't know, it looked cute to me. And now for things I surprisingly would not recommend that you gift your reader or writer friend. Number 1, a Kindle or audiobooks. Not everybody likes e-readers, and not everybody digs audiobooks. My husband keeps buying me a Kindle every couple of years, trying to get me into it. It's just something about the texture of the words on the screen just makes my eyes lose focus. And if it's not printed on paper, my eyes won't do it. And I can't do audiobooks either because I have to sit still if I want to focus on what's going on and what's being said. And if I'm going to be sitting still already, I might as well just read the book because then I can go at my own speed. Unless they've told you that they want a new Kindle or they have audiobooks that they really like. And on that note, number 2, any old book you find. Some people like being surprised with a new book, but that doesn't mean you can phone it in. Just because somebody likes to read, it doesn't mean that they don't have preferences. You can't just walk into the book section of your grocery store and close your eyes and grab the first book that your hand touches. Like, you wouldn't give a teenager who reads Percy Jackson novels a nonfiction political autobiography. Nor would you give your coworker who only reads no spice romances something of the ACOTAR persuasion. If you don't know the type of books they read or the type of books they would be interested in reading, play it safe and get something different. Number 3, the movie adaptation of their favorite book. I feel like that one doesn't really need an explanation, but in case it does, the movie almost never compares to the book. And if it's a particularly unfaithful adaptation, you could be getting a very dirty look for Christmas. In the same vein, you probably don't want to get them the wrong adaptation of their favorite novel if they have a favorite. They probably already have it anyway. Number 4, a bathtub caddy tray for reading and snacking. I don't like lounging in a tub. It's like marinating in people soup. And I know people who only have standing showers in their houses. So buying them something that they can't use is just going to take up space in their house. And it is either going to be regifted or thrifted without them even opening the box. Also, unless you're like family or really close to this person, it's probably not a good idea to get someone a gift that they have to be naked to use. Just my opinion. And lastly, number 5, those neck reading lights. I got one for doing cross stitch and it slides around a lot. Now that could be because I have trouble sitting still for long periods of time, but even when I was using it for reading, it does tend to lean to one side, and that gets kind of frustrating for me. I don't like that. Generally, I don't care for book lights at all because there's never enough light anyway, but I definitely don't love the one that goes like this around your neck. Again, your mileage may vary on this one. I know people that swear by them. I am not one of those people. Keep in mind that these are all just suggestions. Everyone is different and everyone has different tastes and preferences. Some of the things on my suggestions list that I would accept happily are things that someone else would turn their nose up and be like, ew. I tried to think of different price points for things as well, from DIY to like the higher end of double digits, like specifically the fan art commission one that can get really pricey. We are ballers on a budget here. We do not recommend $1,000 necklaces here. That's not how we roll. I hope I've helped anyone that is struggling to find the perfect gift for their reader or writer friend in their life. And if not, I hope I at least gave you an idea of something you might want to ask for yourself. Thanks for hanging out with me this week. My name is Jennifer McPeak. If you are new here, I am an unpublished author that is trying to make it through the holidays just like the rest of y'all. If you'd like to follow me on my writing journey, I post videos every other Wednesday where I talk about reading, writing, arts and crafts, and occasionally I pretend to be a gift-giving influencer. And now for your holiday fact. There is no right way to spell Hanukkah because there is no correct way to directly translate the Hebrew sounds into English. So when you see Hanukkah spelled 4 or 5 different ways, they are all correct. Also, Hanukkah starts on a different day every year because the Hebrew calendar, which Jewish religious dates are based off of, goes by the cycles of the sun and the moon, while the Gregorian calendar, which is what most of the rest of the world uses to date events, goes by the earth going around the sun. This year, the first night of Hanukkah starts sundown on the 25th and lasts through January 2nd, 2025. I hope your holiday is going smoothly, and I'll see you for our next video, which oddly enough is scheduled to be posted on Christmas. Anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Later!
La 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 la, jolly keyboard noises, holiday keyboard noises.